Today, as you practice reading fluently, you are going to focus on your phrasing. And so this video is about how to improve your phrasing as you read. So here I am in Drive. I am going to go to the Fluency Tutor folder to find my assignment. Open it up. I'm going to go to today's date, open it up, and there it is. I'm going to open up my assignment. You can probably, at this point, if you've already been here, open up your assignment through Fluency Tutor as well. I'm choosing to go this way in case anybody hasn't yet opened it, even though it's Tuesday and everyone should have. Now, if you recall from all that we learned at the beginning of the year, phrasing is your ability as a reader to read whole groups of words together without pausing. And oftentimes we use punctuation marks to guide our phrasing. So as we get better and better at phrasing, we're able to say the entire group of words, for example, between two commas or between a comma and a period. So in this case, this first example, this first sentence here, check this out. It says, Andy, I'm reading this sentence right here. You guys see this sentence? There we go. It says, Andy Warhol, whose original name was Andrew Warhola, was an American artist and filmmaker. So if you notice, there's two commas here and here, and then the period. And so a very proficient reader might read this sentence in three phrases. The very short Andy Warhol before the first comma. This entire section here between the two commas, whose original name was Andy Warhola, and the final section after the comma and before the period, that section right there. And so it would sound like this. Andy Warhol, whose original name was Andrew Warhola, was an American artist and filmmaker. So notice, except for my little stumble there, you only heard two pauses at the first comma and the second comma. And in between was really me just saying the words, reading the words as I would say them, without any pause in between them other than to separate the words to make them audible. So let's take a look at the second sentence as an example. Here's the second sentence, right? Now count how many punctuation marks you see. Good, there are two, yes. There's the comma after 1949 right here, and then the period after the word university. And so if I am going to, as a proficient reader, read this sentence with excellent phrasing, I'm actually going to try to read the sentence in just two phrases between the words Andy and 1949 and, here, and then after the comma from the word now until university. So it should sound something like this if you're going to read with really good phrasing, okay? You ready? Let me highlight the sentence one more time. Andy graduated from the Carnegie Institute of Technology in Pittsburgh in 1949, now called Carnegie Mellon University. Do you hear that there's only one pause? It was only after that very first and only comma. I read, let's count them together. 1, 2, 3 words, 4 words, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, 9, 10, 11. I read 12 words, if we count 1949 as a word. 12 words without a pause. Now that's because I've practiced. You might only get 3 or 4 words in before you pause. Andy graduated from the Carnegie Institute of Technology. Now that'd be 3 phrases in those first 7 or 8 words. And that's okay. What you're aiming for is saying more and more words without pausing, building bigger and bigger phrases. That's why we call this phrasing. Let's take a look at one more sentence, okay? This third sentence says, Andy went there to study picture design. How many punctuation marks do you see in this sentence? Right, just one, the period. And so, this being a relatively short sentence, only 7 words, as a proficient reader, I'm going to try to say the whole sentence without pausing. Now, if you happen to pause once or twice, that's okay. The work you're doing is to pay attention to how many words you're saying and to try to build and build and build. longer and longer phrases. So it's going to sound something like this. Andy went there to study picture design. Did you hear how there were no pauses in between? Now, it could be as you're beginning, it sounds something more like this. Andy went there to study picture design. A pause in the middle of the sentence somewhere. And that would be okay. But then you'd want to try again and see if you can remove that pause the next time you read it. Andy went there to study picture design. And that would be better. A little bit slower, but slower is better if it means bigger phrases. And then you'd want to maybe try to do that again, but a little bit faster. Andy went there to study picture design. Okay, now you're getting better. You see how it improves each time? So this is what you're doing. You're trying to build bigger and bigger phrases, groups of words, without pausing as you read. That's your work today. And as you practice with this text, I want you to focus your brain's attention on the phrases that you're saying and try to make them bigger and bigger each time you do. And if that means slowing down a little bit, good. Slow down. It will help you to build those bigger and bigger phrases. That's okay. All right. Let me know if you have questions. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear how well you can read by the end of this week.